discretion advised.
Now, here's Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Well, that's true. All right, well, we got ourselves a show tonight.
Yeah, we do. I agree.
I rarely say this, but a little too much show, I might say.
I can kind of sit back and you'll behave yourself. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the sidekick. The sidekick will run the show while you sit back and relax. We have Meshell Ndegeocello.
Good.
And I guess you would know her best from that duet, Wild Night, she did with John Cougar Mellencamp back there in 94, playing the bass, singing harmony, or singing her half of the song. You remember the video. They played the hell out of the thing. All right, Drew. Don't comment on it.
My musical knowledge is pathetic.
Later on, then that's the first hour. So we have Meshell in the first hour. Then in the second hour, we have Everclear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of music. And, of course, you know Everclear because they're Everclear.
I know Everclear.
Yeah.
Because what they stand for.
What do they stand for?
What?
What was that?
Mike's back tonight.
Mike, don't mess anything up. That's your job. Don't add to the show, but please don't hurt it, all right? Give me a boozum, Mike.
To this day, I am surprised when I'm asked to sign a lady's bosom.
Of course, the famed Adam West there with his boozum, which will now go down and live in Loveline infamy. The phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191, fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. He's Dr. Drew. He's a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. And guess what? I was listening to the news today, Doc, on the radio.
Yeah.
While I was doing my laundry, which I've now deemed beneath me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. I've deemed beneath me.
All right.
But no one else has deemed it beneath me.
You did it anyway.
And I got to be honest with you. I would pay, I think for like $20-25 a week, you could get someone to haul your laundry away and do it and do the old fluff and fold.
You might surprise you, but there are services that do that.
Right. I'm just finding out about these things. Well, I've never had a penny. So I didn't look into fluff and fold. I was looking at buying, generic laundry detergent. I wasn't interested in the fluff and fold aspect of laundry.
And your fourth automobile.
Right. I'm moving on to jewelry, by the way. I'm now going to collect jewelry. I'm going to be like the third Gabor sister.
All right.
All right, but here's the deal. I took a good look at my laundry, and I really sized things up.
Yeah.
Especially the underwear and the tube socks. Mm-hmm. And I realized this would be too humiliating for me to hand this over to any individual.
I didn't know you actually did laundry. It seems like whenever some of these clothing manufacturers come around here, you just get new T-shirts and new hats, and that's it. You wear that for a month, and you get something else new.
And I do. And I don't know if this is illegal or not, but take note, all clothing manufacturers. You bring it, I wear it. That is my motto.
That's a fact.
I'm wearing a Makita hat tonight.
Yep.
I'm wearing the
some Fiend pants.
And a shirt somebody gave me for a graduation or something.
Nice.
All right. So anyway, I've just decided that I would have to do I would have to do the pre-laundry before I handed it over.
Right.
Because you look at my underwear, it's like a Rorschach test. You peel it apart, you can tell a lot about the man. And frankly, I don't need that kind of humiliation in my life.
I don't blame you.
All right, so we ready to go?
Yeah,
wait. I was listening to the radio.
All right, yeah.
And they were talking about ecstasy.
Oh, right.
And they're talking about how it's disintegrating the brains of these lab rats and lab monkeys.
How many years have I been saying that?
Yeah, but you say that about everything and no one listens to you. But now I'm saying it.
All right. And it's in the disruption of the anatomy has been seen in some real important parts of the brain. And as I have observed clinically, it turns out indeed to be parts of the brain that are responsible for maintaining mood. So there you go. And memory.
Yeah, and they say just after one application. They're not talking about years and years of use.
Right, absolutely. It disrupts the normal anatomic architecture.
Actually talking about dissolving parts of the brain.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Carolla, LSD will do the same thing. Marijuana will do the same thing. Alcohol will do the same thing.
See, now you're screwing everyone up.
But it's a fact.
All right, but you're talking about marijuana, which everyone knows doesn't dissolve your brain. Yes, if you, roadied for Bob Marley for 10 years in the 70s,
it will do
maybe
exactly
you'd
that.
have some ill effects. But I'm talking about just a couple of tries here.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right, that's
do you see how you screw up your message when you lump it in with the other drugs?
All right. So this is one that's highly toxic.
Highly toxic.
All right.
And when you dissolve a part of your brain, where does it...
No.
Does it come out of your nose? Where's it go?
It just disintegrates.
But where's it go?
Your immune system eats it up.
Really?
It just dissolves.
Well, then maybe your immune system gets smarter.
Yeah.
All right. Just a theory, Drew.
Yeah.
You ready to go to the phones? All right. Brandon?
Yes.
Hey, you're 21. You're on Loveline.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Adam, this question was for you. How you doing, Dr. Drew?
Brandon,
Good.
I'll shut up. Don't worry.
Okay.
Either
Well, actually,
spilt his bong, he wants to know how to clean the carpet, or it's a masturbatory
dude, no.
question.
Nothing like that. But listen, I really respect your advice, and I'm having a problem. I'm 21. I've never had sex. I haven't had a date in like 3 years. I don't know what's going on, dude.
No, so you're a virgin.
At 21.
At 21,
All
all
my
right.
friends are sitting here laughing at me.
All right, that's their job. Part of their job is a male friend to laugh at your other friends when they're in pain emotionally. No strong religious convictions, Brandon?
No, none
for you.
I go to church maybe once every 3
All right,
months.
but you don't. You don't.
Oh no, I don't abstain due to religion. No.
Right, but you don't hail Satan or anything either, do you?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, what's in your? Give me a description of what's wrong with you, if you could be so candid.
I don't know. I'm a surfer. I hang out at the beach all the time.
Because chicks love surfers.
I know. I got bleach blonde hair. I got a little goat. I got some sideburns. I work at a preschool. I'm like I go to San Diego State University.
All right, lay off the kids, by the way, Brandon.
No.
Okay, so you're good looking.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I mean,
you never see any big, fat, sloppy, hairy, goiter-ridden surfers. You just don't.
I'm kind of small. Maybe that's a problem.
No. Women love that.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Not anatomically, but I'm speaking. I weigh 130 pounds.
That's all right. You know what? Start labeling yourself as scrappy from now on, Brandy.
Not scrawny.
Brandy. I'm sorry, Brandon.
Okay.
All right, you're scrappy. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, what can I do, Adam? I don't know, dude. I listen to you all the time, and I'm
all
like,
right.
you know what? I'm going to call and see what he has to say.
Please, you can stop talking. It's the first thing you can do and listen, bro. Have you ever had a girlfriend?
Yeah, my last girlfriend. I just it was about 3 years ago, but she was kind of young.
Mm-hmm.
She was like 3 years younger than me.
So you were 18 and she was 15?
I was just before I turned 18. We broke up, and she was about 15.
All right, so it was a 17-14 thing.
Right. Yeah.
All right, this is God's wrath.
But it wasn't serious.
You went a little young, and God is paying you back with abstinence, forced abstinence.
Uh-huh.
All right, now Brandon, listen. You need. You know who the biggest problem with you not getting a woman is? It's you. You're getting in your own way.
Me?
Yes. But believe me, here's what I'm saying, Brandon.
Uh-huh.
If I could slice open your brain and insert the knowledge, and even though it would be a lie, but if I could stick in the fact that you'd had many successful dates, that you'd been with many women, and women enjoy you incredibly, and you were nothing close to a virgin, you'd satisfied many a woman, you would go out this weekend and you would meet yourself a woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you would have that walk, you would have that talk, your chest would be sticking out to here, you'd be strutting around like a prize cock.
All right, dude.
All right, so Brandon, how do we do that? That's the question.
That is a good question. I don't know.
This whole virgin thing is going to just be between you and I, right? Don't go for the sympathy thing, Brandon. Don't go to girls and go, man, I haven't had a date in 3 years. Man, I'm a virgin. What's wrong with me? Don't ever work that angle. Because they'll notice it, too, and want to know what's wrong with you on their way home. Am I right, Drew?
You're right.
All right.
I mean, there are many other things we need to know about Brandon, but obviously we're not going to find out tonight.
Well, he goes to college.
Smokes a lot of pot.
Smokes a lot of pot.
What?
Yeah. We hear it in your voice, Brandon.
No.
You work. Yeah, that was a nice rebuttal there. No. Brandon, listen.
No.
Don't worry. Plenty of guys smoke pot and get laid at the same time. Brandon, you keep up with the surfing. And you meet women who can see you when you're at your best, and I'm guessing that's when you're surfing.
See, here's the deal. It's like I meet chicks, but I don't, go out with them. You know what I mean? I guess I'm too shy.
Right, and that's why you have to just go for it. Just ask them out. Women expect to be asked out. They really do.
Okay.
They really expect to be asked out, especially single, young, attractive women.
Well, I'll give it a try, bro.
They get asked out all day long. You will just be one of the many saps who's asked them out during the day. But if you ask enough of them out, eventually one of them's going to go out with you.
And you have to be willing to be emotionally open and vulnerable, and that's something that I think is going to be tough for Brandon. That is why he doesn't have relationships.
Well, of course, there's that, too.
Yeah.
Mike, 23.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Drew. Adam, how you doing?
Good.
I got a question, actually. I'm, freaking out here. I haven't done any drugs or anything I quit about 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I was out with one of my buddies Friday, and I smoked a joint. The problem is, I found out today that I got a job I really wanted, but I have to do a hair analysis test.
Oh.
2.5 months.
Wow.
And I was told, I had heard that if you were clean for a long time and you did, just a little bit once, it may not show, or it may show, about the equivalent of being at a concert or something.
But it may show. It may show.
What if you shave your head?
I was thinking about that.
Can you do that, Drew?
I don't know.
Well, what do they do if you shave your head?
I don't know.
I think they have to take hair from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I don't want them shaving down there.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I go right to the crotch. You say somewhere else, boom, right to the crotch. If I said, hey, did you go to Europe this summer? You went, no, I went somewhere else. I'd be picturing a huge continent-sized crotch that you went to. Mike.
You're sick.
Thank you.
You're off tonight. You didn't get sleep last night.
No.
You didn't get any sleep last night.
No, what do you mean I'm off?
I'm just you're misfiring.
What do I?
You're saying are so bizarre.
Drew, do you realize what that's going to do to me? Do you understand the placebo and the psychological suggestion and all that as a doctor? You tell me I'm misfiring at the top of the show. You don't expect me to screw up for the rest of the show?
Well, it'll be an interesting evening anyway.
Yeah, well, you sucked last night. Anyone listen last night?
Keep
Drew
listening
sucked.
to Adam screw up. It's going to be an interesting night.
What am I screwing up?
I know, but you didn't sleep last night. I can tell.
I don't need sleep to do this goddamn show.
All right. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
I guess I was just wondering if there's anything I can do or take or anything like that to kind of help
not
get
for
it out.
not for a hair analysis that I'm familiar with anyway.
Where are you getting the job, Mike?
Casino in Joliet.
Oh, so casino in Chicago. Is it like an Indian reservation?
No, it's like regular owned.
They have those.
Regular casino.
All right.
I'm not going to say the name.
And what are you going to do? Deal blackjack?
Yeah, actually.
And what the hell they should want you to do drugs for a job like that. That should be prerequisite.
Dealing with these Joliet people, I think you need more drugs and you need to be sober. But like I said, I was out with my buddy. He's
all
like,
right.
Oh, come on, you got to do it. You got to do
well,
it.
Listen,
and I'm just freaking out.
You take the test. You will be still beneath the threshold because indeed that really is a low level of marijuana exposure. If they were to check your urine, almost undoubtedly it would be clean.
Right.
And I would think that they would not be looking for that level of exposure. They'd be really wanting something more. And so I bet you'd be beneath that level of exposure. And what you need to do is be sure you admit that you have smoked pot and don't get specific about when.
Yeah, and if they pop, you call the ACLU. You got a case. What the hell is going on with this country? He's working at a casino, for Christ's sake. I mean, casino, where you basically, he's probably going to die of secondhand smoke within the first 6 months on the job. They're feeding people watered-down drinks, trying to get them loaded and part with their money. Had a bunch of old fat people feeding nickels into slots and wasting away their lives, and they're worried about their dealers and a little marijuana use. That's ridiculous. At a casino. That doesn't strike you as ironic, Drew?
Yeah, it does. And by the way, Mike didn't have any sleep last night either. He chimed into my headset and said, why doesn't he shave his head?
Oh, Engineer Mike?
Yeah.
Big fan of the show.
Yeah.
Tony, 21. You're on Loveline.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
I got a big problem.
Yeah.
I'm a compulsive liar.
Uh-huh.
Like, big time, and I don't know what the heck to do.
Who you lying to, mainly?
Well, just like my buddies' girlfriends and stuff, you know. I, like, want to get their attention so they can notice me.
Yeah.
And I just, like, make up all these stories.
Right, that makes you a compulsive dickhead. It doesn't necessarily make you a compulsive liar.
I know, but I don't know what to do.
What do you say to them? What kind of stories?
Well, I just make up stories like I'm like this super athlete and how I'm going to be starting quarterback for UNLV and just pretty much dumb stuff. And I know I'm doing it, but I don't know. It just sounds like the right thing to do.
Why don't you at least work a basketball angle if you're going to work UNLV?
Well, I don't know.
I'm just saying, as long as you're lying. Tony.
Yeah.
You have some insecurities then. You don't feel good about yourself. You're compensating for something. Obviously. It's just like when people, overdo it. Sports cars a little too flashy, fur coat a little too puffy, a little too much jewelry. Yeah. These people are all, it's called overcompensating.
Yeah, but when somebody has the capacity to manipulate and lie, that is yet another problem. Beyond the lack of self-worth, there really is potential for not being able to
Could this be like inherited like from some other family member or something, or like my kids, are they going to be liars and stuff?
No, it doesn't necessarily passed on to your kids. However, sociopathy, meaning the inability to really identify another person's needs or any needs besides your own, is sort of a way of looking at that, is something that does tend to be in families. And
Right.
it's not biologically based. Just because when you're raised in that kind of a system, you start developing defense strategies to deal with parents that are screwed up that way.
And I'll put it in plain English. You'll be a crappy parent, and your kids will grow up to be then crappy parents one day too, God willing.
Hope not.
All right, Tony. You know you're lying.
Yeah.
You know it's a little problem. You don't want to continue with it.
Not really.
So here's what you're going to have to do. It's twofold. You're going to have to knock it off, and then you're going to have to do things that you feel good about so you don't feel compelled to lie.
But I'm like average though. I mean, I really don't do.
We're all average, Tony. Just go out and do above-average things by making an above-average effort. Oh, that sound like sleepy talk there, Drew? I don't think so.
Out of the mouth of babes.
Damn straight. Tony,
Yeah.
did you hear that?
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think he was lying when he said that, by the way. Kinda, yeah. So what's the deal? What do you think Tony should do? All right, we're moving on.
It depends, it depends if he can stop lying or not. If he can't, this guy's got to get help.
Garrett,
Yeah,
15.
yeah. I have a problem. I met this girl at school last year, and me and her, she invited me over to her house, and I thought, hey, what the heck, new girl, might as well just see what she's like. And
How old is she?
She's 15. And I went over to her house, sat there, watched a movie, normal. Put my arm around her, normal stuff. And all of a sudden she started kissing me, and while she was kissing me, she put her hands down by my pants and started zipping my pants. And,
The pants you were wearing?
yeah, the pants I was wearing.
Okay, you realize we have to ask.
Okay, and then she started, rubbing and whatever. Anyways, I kind of looked at her real weird, and I don't know if I'm ready for that stuff. And then she goes,
I don't know if I'm ready. Translated would be, I am not ready.
I am not ready.
Okay.
All right, but he's with a woman who's going for his unit.
Yeah,
and
but he's with a 15-year-old who's behaving in a way that's shocking to another 15-year-old.
Right, but he's a guy, and he's got all this hormone stuff and this peer pressure stuff.
And he's not ready for it.
I know, but you
that.
expect him to jump up and throw his drink in her face and slap her.
But that's not it, though. Then I told her, I'm not ready, and then she goes, oh, so you want to have sex now? And then she goes, come on, let's do it. And then she threw me on the floor, and I got up and I left, and I didn't think.
Huh?
Wow.
Huh?
Oh, I knew he wasn't ready, but I'm. All right. Go ahead, Garrett. Garrett.
Yeah.
Real quick, what kind of cologne you wear?
Jupe.
Jupe?
Yeah.
All right, let me write that down.
I'm kidding. I don't know. I wasn't wearing cologne.
Oh, okay. Don't screw with me like that, Garrett.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Have you seen this girl since?
Yeah, and she's been calling me every weekend saying, oh, my parents are gone, I want to come over.
What do you know about her?
All I know that it was at the end of the year, and all I know is she's kind of new, and I don't know, she dressed kind of fine. I mean, I don't know. She looked pretty normal.
Garrett, what did the house look like? A sofa out on the lawn?
No, it was a pretty big house.
Big house. No big pictures of clowns in the living room?
No.
Clowns.
Oh, yeah. There's some mental instability there when they have too many clown pictures.
Yeah, I know.
So she came from a well-to-do family.
Yeah.
She's nice looking.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just all over your scene.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever got this response from a woman before?
No, not even that close.
He's 15.
I'm just saying he can still drive women nuts. I mean, look at Donny Osmond when he was 15. He got plenty. If it wasn't for his Mormon sensibilities, he would have been banging little Mormon chicks all over the place.
And should I ignore her, or should I tell her what my feelings, or?
Always a good idea, to be honest. So certainly tell her your feelings is fine. I think you need to learn more about her. I think you're going to find that this is somebody that's had something go on there that causes her really to sort of misread the cues on why and how sexuality evolves in a relationship, and what appropriate boundaries are in conducting herself with her peers or anybody for that matter.
All right, Drew's saying she may have been a little whacked out through some family strife and basically is taking it out on you, which doesn't sound like a bad thing, but it is for her.
It would be a bad thing, Garrett, if you were to go for it. You'd be wrapped into a world of chaos.
All right, and when we come back, we will be here with Meshell Ndegeocello. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. We're doing a radio show. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the phone number. 310-854-4455 is the fax number. I'm Adam Carolla. He is Dr. Drew. We have Meshell Ndegeocello. She is in studio with us. We got a whole cornucopia of mics to choose from there. Yeah, go with the easiest one. Say hi, Meshell.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Now, those of you who aren't music aficionados may recognize Meshell from the John Mellencamp Wild Night duet you did in, was it 94?
Yeah.
And they played just the hell. I mean, were you surprised that they played it?
No, I was just glad I was out of the country. I heard it was just played over and over.
They played it on, I guess, VH1 a ton and MTV a ton and wherever else they play videos, they just played it a ton. And it was a good remake of that Van Morrison.
It's a great song. If you have a great bass to start from, I was lucky to perform on it. I love Van Morrison, so.
Right.
You know.
And you were the one playing the bass and singing the duet. And how was he?
He's doing well now. He's doing much better.
What was wrong with him?
You know, smoking like 7 packs a day.
Really?
Might catch up with you one day.
You know, the data's not in yet on the whole cigarette thing. That kind of brainwashing is what the government wants you to believe. But let me tell you, 7 packs a day.
That's I'm
I had a patient once smoked 8 packs a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
That wasn't a record.
For 20 years, yeah.
For 20 years.
He died of lung disease, needless to say.
Well, that could have been coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm saying it could have ran in the family, Drew.
Right.
Let's just wait till the evidence is in. That's all I'm saying. So, how did you hook up with John?
We have a mutual friend who thought we would make a good pairing, and I flew out there and I hung out with him for a couple of days and literally went into the studio that day, recorded it that day,
and that was it.
That was it.
And he smoked a carton of cigarettes. You plucked on the bass.
During the vocal session.
And that was it.
That was it.
And then everything just went.
I play on the album, which a lot of people didn't hear. I played on another track on the album, but yeah, I had a great time. He's a great person, you know. So I had a lot of fun.
Was it his idea to do the Van Morrison song?
Yes, it was.
Smart guy.
It's
a great song, but I wouldn't have thought to remake it and redo it that way. Anyway, Meshell has herself a CD out. It's called, not out yet, but it's called Peace and Passion, and it will be out June 25th.
Peace Beyond Passion comes out June 25th. I'm doing a show tomorrow at the Whiskey.
And it's all sold out. But it's kind of cool to say that anyway. And I guess people could, sell some fillings or something and maybe get themselves a ticket. And you also, I don't know what just happened to my headphones, but don't move over there, Drew. Also had yourself 4 Grammy nominations for Plantation Lullabies in 93.
Yes.
Did you win any of those?
No.
Screw those Grammys. The hell do they know? But that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's my first record, and it was a great experience. You know?
Yeah, you come out with your maiden voyage,
right.
And you get pick up 4 nominations.
Right. And I get to sit in front of Soundgarden, and I got to have a great conversation, so I was very happy.
Did they have your name on your seat, like for rehearsals and stuff?
Yeah, and then put your little card there, and I got to give away an award. I had a great time. It was fun.
And your latest thing, now there's a little controversy about the single off the new CD, which is called Leviticus Faggot.
Yeah.
And people are all kind of up in arms about that because I guess I guess faggot is probably the strongest derogatory word you can use to a male homosexual, isn't it? Or you don't know?
I don't. I mean, I heard. It's the intention behind the word. I don't think the word really has the power. It's how you use it. So,
right.
I mean, I guess that's the most familiar word in society.
Right.
Faggot. But I've heard gump and sissy and
Gump.
Yeah,
I got to write that down.
light and the loafers, all kinds of things. So I mean,
but I mean, you are not attacking the gay community.
Not at all.
With this song, you're
Not
gay
at all.
yourself, correct? Or
I happen to be involved with a woman right now. Yeah.
Right. All right.
Okay.
And so that does make it a little easier, in a sense, to come out with a song that is going into the gay community, isn't it?
No, I mean,
in terms of taking heat.
Well, I don't feel the heat. Whatever you
Oh, you
think
don't?
or whatever you get from the song is really your issue. I wrote the song's a story about a young man who makes a decision in his life and his parents set him aside.
Right.
And I think that's the focus of the song for
That's
me is
such
that
a
his
common
parents,
story. I mean,
his parents just sat him aside and the hypocrisy that
In fact,
with it.
we ought to try to get some calls like that because that's such a common story. I mean, if you look at statistics, young male homosexual has the highest potential of
suicide.
Yeah, not just of attempting suicide, by completing suicide.
Right.
And we hear that all the time on this show.
I mean, that's what I'm questioning. I'm not making a stance for homosexuality or anything like that. It's just a story about a young man who's set aside, and I think just in the world, I mean, you're set aside for so many different reasons. And
right.
This is just one of several.
This is one where your family sets you aside.
Right. One of several.
And it's unfortunate, though, that some people, program directors and people that are making choices, and because I'm sure... I mean, this is a song that
all right,
is...
Adam, name names. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know anybody, but if I did know anybody, I'd be scared that they'd fire me. So I'm not going to name any names. No, but I was reading a little about it, and a program director, I guess, in San Francisco, where there's a large gay community, sees this song. Hey, how about playing this song called Leviticus Faggot? And he goes, are you nuts?
Really?
Where the station's going to be burnt down. But it's a song that the community...
It's empathic.
It's empathic to the community. Right.
Sympathetic.
Right. Well, so it's too bad everyone has to have a knee-jerk reaction, but this isn't a political show. I'm not sure what kind of show it is. It's certainly not a funny show. Meshell, 23. You're on Loveline with Meshell.
Hi, how are you guys tonight?
Good.
I just found out my ex-lover or fiancé is floating around town. I'm still in love with him, and he's in the middle of a divorce. I'm in the middle of a divorce. And I don't know if I should see him again and say goodbye so I can end this in my heart or just let it go. Because if I see him, there's a possibility of a sexual
Let me tell you, it's like when I needed to see my girlfriend one last time just to get my baseball mitt out of her house. Had nothing to do with playing baseball.
Yeah.
I know how it goes. First of all, Meshell.
Yes.
You're 23.
Yes.
You're divorced already?
You're looking for your ex-fiancé because you're both fresh off a divorce.
Yes.
Okay, that's bad. That means something's wrong with both of you.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, maybe a little bit.
Well, see, we almost got married before he got married and before I got married, but
before he went to jail.
I screwed him over, so...
What'd you do to him?
What did I do to him? Well, he was doing time at the time.
Oh, yeah. How did I know that? How did I know that?
Dr. Drew.
Thank you.
Oh.
I did talk
The amazing Dr. Drew is his new moniker. Yes, Meshell?
I didn't talk to him for about a month, and then when I came to see him...
He was in solitary.
Oh, no. I just kind of...
in jail writing notes to lots of other
way.
girls to help him, give him money and help him when he gets out.
All right, Meshell.
Yes.
You two don't deserve either one of you.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. You need... you're both acidic. You need a saline-type person to neutralize you. Together, you burn a hole through the slab of the building.
But we never even really got a chance to, though. That's the whole problem.
You guys were engaged, for Christ's sake.
Yes.
It didn't work out.
No.
He ended up going into the jug.
And I just, all kidding aside, the reasons...
I mean, his initial is tattooed on my hand. I mean,
Why did you marry the other guy, though?
Why did I marry the other guy? Oh, goodness. It's because he was out at the time. I mean...
He was out of jail.
Yes, he was out of jail, and he was my sweetheart growing up with him, and we had a son together, basically. Okay, there it is right there.
How old were you when you had the son?
I was 19.
All right, that's all right. I mean, I can. It didn't work though, unfortunately.
No, and I was in love with this guy the whole time.
The other guy.
Yes.
All right. All right.
And then he found out I was married and got mad, and then he got married.
All right. Does he like you still?
I don't know.
Are you tattooed onto him still?
I think so.
Oh, that's just
if anybody wants to know what I'm talking about when I refer to emotional chaos, this is a great example.
All right,
of
Meshell,
chaotic relationship.
You put every ounce of your effort into your child.
Yes.
Forget about boys for a while, especially the incarcerated.
Exactly.
Focus on your own child. Because I got to tell you quite honestly, you've made a few mistakes in your life.
Yes.
But that's okay. You're young. You can bounce back.
Exactly.
But you don't want your kid to make the same mistakes. Exactly. You got to give him the kind of environment that's going to nurture him and not get him so he's chasing after felons.
Yeah, that's why I just left the situation I was in because I was getting,
whatever you lacked or whatever abuse you were subjected to or sorry, your mother subjected to is what you're seeking out now in your environment. And you need to break that cycle. Yeah. It's time.
Forget about this faggot song. You should write a song called Meshell with her incarcerated boyfriend. This is what you write about life. This is a good one.
Right.
All right. We got time for another quick one, Drew? Pull yourself together. Krista, 16. You're on Loveline.
Hi.
Yes.
Well, I have this boyfriend, and every time every time he kisses me and stuff, I get this rash, on my face and stuff because he has a goatee.
A rash?
Yeah.
Like a cold sore?
Like this big rash. I don't know, it looks really bad.
It's irritation because he has a rough beard. He has a goatee.
Psych. You guys are disgusting, and you need Jesus Christ.
Oh, wait a minute. Did she hang up?
I don't know.
No.
All right.
You need Jesus Christ?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because.
Why?
Listen how disgusting you are.
Why? What makes you think that?
Because Jesus Christ is coming to save our sins, and if you don't...
Let he without sin cast the first stone. Love thy brother as you love thyself. Yet you come in on here and attack people.
Amen, sister.
Excuse me?
Oh, see? You don't even know the Bible well enough to know when it's being cited to you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, from the book of Matthew, like I said, let he without sin cast the first stone.
I just did not hear what you said.
All right, now listen, Krista. I am a theologian myself, and I can tell you that it states clearly in the book of Job, let he who dialeth the phone and screweth with the hostess, then let the scourge cast upon, that's right, upon she, and your head will grow like an onion in the ground. And it was good. All right. Phone number here at Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number, 310-854-4455. Madam Carolla. He's Dr. Drew. She is Meshell Ndegeocello. I've been practicing that name.
He has.
I swear to you, I've been driving around today. Saying that name. Is Engineer Mike, is Meshell all... Is her mic on? Say something.
Yeah.
No, okay, good. That's good. And that means what?
Free like a bird.
Free like and what is that? Swahili?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Or high as a kite, either one.
Really?
No.
Free like a bird?
Right.
Free to crap on people's windshields? I got to get myself a name that means something. I think Carolla means like he who naps and then eats or something. I got to get something good in Swahili.
Why would you want anything more accurate than that?
Well,
how could it be?
I want something that means like, king of all he surveys or something.
Right,
something something a little more noble than a mid-sized Japanese car. All right. Well, now as promised, we have that song. That song that's caused and will go on to cause undue controversy, but still, if it has the word faggot in it, it's going to cause controversy. So you listen to it, and you be the judge. Leviticus Faggot. Well, all right, Meshell Ndegeocello, their latest hit, Leviticus Faggot. I'm just trying to see how that sounds. For the DJs, I have to do that.
Dug it.
It sounded great. That was a kind of a remind me of like a Curtis Mayfield kind of like what did he do? Superfly, was that his soundtrack?
Yes.
But that Freddie's dead, or was
There you
that?
go.
Yeah, that kind of had that going. I like that.
Thank you.
I'm sure it'll get played.
I hope so.
Adam has a lot to do with that too. So it's,
Yeah, oh yeah. I know people in this town. Just my mom and then my dad and guy I grew up next to. I think he's dead. Drew?
Yes.
You're reading the lyrics? Do you have any questions
You
there?
want to talk about that a little bit? I know it's just we were talking a little bit off the air about the fact that some people have theorized it's one of the reasons that males may turn to a homosexual relationship is out of a highly traumatic relationship with a father, and they really crave that male connection.
Well,
they
Drew,
try to
read the first line there of the song
Really?
there. Yes, please.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead. People want to know.
Faggot better learn to run, 'cause daddy's home. He's sweet, his sweet little boy, just a little too sweet. Every night the man showed the faggot what a real man should be. The man and the faggot will never see, for so many can't even perceive a real man.
Tell me.
Not that the faggot didn't find women fine and beautiful. He desired their desires. He wanted love from strong hands, which we're saying he goes out and seeks the male. Faggot wanted the love of a man.
Drew, read the little faggot that could. He has triplets, you know. He reads
She knows
stories.
to talk about it. Yeah.
Oh, you've showed him?
No, I just we were talking about it. Yeah,
I mean, it's a unpopular theory. I think there are many theories.
Yeah, but it's one of the reasons, and I really think that's what people do. If they have something that really troubles them in childhood, and they crave that remaking that connection, they'll go out in their adult life and do it.
Right. But do you think children in puberty just question either way? Just kind of
absolutely, that's normal.
Back and
Yeah,
forth?
yeah,
Absolutely normal.
absolutely.
I mean, all night long we get these calls where, well, actually more women than men, but we have like 14, 15-year-old women girls call in and
guys
say,
calling too, but guys have more trouble. Right, guys have more trouble admitting that's what's going on. And they actually probably go through it a little younger sometimes.
Oh, the guys do?
The girls will go on into their 16th, 18th year thinking and having ambivalence, and guys will try to finish up by the time they're 14, or they'll get panicky about it.
Right, and they'll call in and go, "I'm lesbian," and we'll go, "Oh, really?"
I'm 12 and I want to announce it at Thanksgiving. It's sort of how they go about it.
When's the last time you were with a woman? They go, "Oh, I've never been with a woman." Oh, really?
Right.
Where'd you get that lesbian title? All right, Drew, you ready?
Yeah.
Michelle, you ready?
I'm always ready.
Oh, that's what I like. Jennifer, 12, you're on Loveline.
Hi.
Hey.
My problem is my parents got divorced last summer, and people have said, like, as time passes, like, it gets better, but it's really been getting worse.
So it's been about a year.
Yeah.
And it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
Your feelings.
Yeah.
How have they handled it?
What?
How are they handling it? I mean, how far away did your dad move, or do you see him?
I was born in L.A., and now we're up in Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm. And is your dad back in L.A.?
No, I'm living with my dad.
Okay, is your mom back in L.A.?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't get to see her very often.
Well, I see her almost every holiday.
Okay, but that's still not very often for a 12-year-old.
No.
For me, it's too often at 32 if I see my parents 3 times a year. But
now your parents
at
were
12,
divorced when you were how old?
They were divorced when I was about 7.
And by the time you were 12?
I was married and divorced by the time I was 12. No, I mean, my parents didn't get along well.
Right.
And so when they got divorced, it was kind of relief because it was this, I mean, it's like the manager is arguing with the umpire, and, they decide to move across town, and it's kind of, you can go on and resume the game.
Kids have and young teenagers particularly have a way of assuming that it's their responsibility, that somehow either they made it happen or at least they should be able to contain it or prevent it from happening. They carry a lot of guilt. Did you have anything like that?
No, they were both sufficiently whacked out enough. So even at the tender age of 7, I said, "Oh man, Mom, you're whacked, baby. This is your scene all the way."
And Mom, I'm going with you.
Yeah, well, I split it up.
Oh.
My dad moved just a couple of miles out of town, so it wasn't such a big deal. I'd see him three times a week. I'd see my mom whatever's left in the week times a week. I think it's 4. Jennifer?
Yeah?
But for you, it's not been as easy.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
And do you blame yourself?
No.
What's bothering you exactly?
Well, my mom's boyfriend's a big jerk.
Oh, all right. That can do it.
What does he do?
Well, he kind of like brainwash my mom just to like not really want to be around us a lot.
Who's us?
What?
Who is us?
Well, me and my sister.
How old is your sister?
12. She's a twin.
Wow.
We're twins.
All right. Give her a good answer and hurry, Drew.
I just have to wonder if your mom is capable of being pulled away from you that, so to speak, easily. That I wonder if your mom is okay.
Well, I mean, she doesn't really care that much.
Is she doing drugs, or is she in
No.
a psychiatric hospital, or is there anything going on with her that would make her so overwhelmed that she could be that easily persuaded by just someone?
Well, I mean, she's not doing any drugs, but she's like sober totally. She goes to AA.
Right.
And, I mean, I don't know of any problems really that she has because I don't.
Do you ever tell her how she makes you feel?
Well, every time I try, she kind of hangs up on me when I'm talking to her on the phone because I don't really get to see her a lot.
Have you told your dad how she makes you feel?
Yeah.
All right.
Can your dad talk to her? Are they able to talk?
Well, sometimes.
All right,
they mostly fight.
I understand that they didn't hit it off, but that doesn't mean they have to ruin your relationship.
Well, they're not really.
Your life, really. I mean, I really think it's partially the dad's responsibility as the adult
to try to heal
to
this.
call up and say, listen, are you aware of the way your daughter Jennifer is feeling about you? And if so, or if not, here's what she's feeling.
Meshell disagrees.
Oh, no, I was going to say most of the people I know that are going through AA have a tendency to forget their past life.
Huh.
They want to because they feel some sort of connection that if they deal with their past, it makes them want to drink. And they try to distance themselves from things. I've never seen it with a child, but my father was an alcoholic, and once he stopped drinking, it got worse. Like the emotional thing became
because he sort of shut down.
Yeah,
you know what?
Totally
That's not recovery done in a healthy way.
Right.
That's somebody misusing the principles.
Right. So, does her boyfriend drink, or is it?
Well, I mean, he smokes. That's about it.
Smokes pot?
No.
Smokes cigarettes.
Well, actually, I think he does drink beer, though.
All right. So these are people whose recovery is got something wrong with it, and just by virtue of how they're treating you, we can say there's something wrong with their recovery. It's not adhering to the usual principles and traditions of the recovery process.
But please don't take it personally. Please don't take it upon yourself.
Yeah, it sounds like it's her disease still operating, and it's not about you. It's not even about her. It's about this thing she suffers from. And honestly, it would behoove her, and it would help you, and maybe your dad could prevail upon her to get a more comprehensive treatment. Maybe the community 12-step is not just enough for her, and she needs a more treatment-oriented, like a treatment program to deal with all these aspects of her problem.
All right, Jennifer, you got to look out for yourself at this point. I mean, as sort of cruel world as that sounds, at the tender age of 12, the parents are not really there for you. It's not because they don't like you. It's because they have bigger problems that they're trying to sort out for themselves right now, and they're being a little selfish about it. So you have to understand that and sort of take time for yourself. All right. Well, the plot is thickened because we have Art Alexakis from Everclear, who's just stepped in the studio. And, of course, Meshell Ndegeocello is still here. And I hope I don't have to say either one of those last names again, but I'm sure I will. And we're going to wrap down and just cover everything in about 10 seconds. Here we go. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. He is Dr. Drew. He also is Art from Everclear, and Meshell from Meshell. She don't need a band.
Art wanted to comment on that last call with the girl Jennifer 12, whose mom was kind of quasi in recovery.
Yeah, I just caught like the last. I caught most of it. It's just really heartbreaking. It's like he said. It's the way what Adam said towards the end of it. It's a 12-year-old knows nothing about enabling and empowerment and anything like that. All they know is that their mommy isn't like other mommies, or what their perception of what other mommies are like.
Or
I
what
had a
they
big
want mommy to be like.
Yeah, my role model, other than my mother, who didn't have problems like that, had depression and anxiety and other things, but kept off drugs miraculously through raising, being abandoned by her husband and raising kids, living in a housing project, the whole 9 yards. So my brother, all the men in my life have been either like my father, who abandoned us, or my brother, who died of an overdose, or my brother-in-law, who just became a Skid Row bum, was this really strong, smart young man who just gave in to alcohol and became a Skid Row bum, and just died from liver failure at the age of 39, 40 years old. Looked like he was about 60, So, I mean, there's really nothing I know what to say, except for the fact of try to find people who understand what you're doing. And if it's that bad of a situation, maybe some sort of protective place might be better,
Well, we're forcing everyone to just grow up at the age of 9, 10, I mean, it's like all of a sudden this society has turned into this big slap in the face. I mean, for kids. I mean, it used to be that you had that. Right. I mean, it used to be you had a childhood.
Right.
Now it's you're sitting here watching Cops at age 9, watching guys being shackled and dragged in the back of squad cars, dads drinking, smacking mom around, and by the time kids are 11, 12 years old, they're bitter.
Desensitized.
They're desensitized.
Totally.
They're I mean, their outlook on life it's not like, hey, I'm going to get a new uniform or a new baseball mitt or something.
Play Little League. Little League starts next week.
It's like, hey, I got to get a gun, or I got to get my kicks before everything comes down. Or I mean, it's just sad to see everyone's childhood being taken away, and it's really the family unit that's disintegrating. And what we're trying to do is get people to not pass this horrible legacy onto their kids. If
I agree.
Things didn't work out for you, that's fine. And I'm sure your parents screwed you over before that. But the point is let's take care of the kids now so they can go on and have good relationships and nurture their family and not have another cycle, another batch of another generation of people that are going on to sort of destroy the family.
Well, I agree. It's when we came in and we met, Meshell said, we were talking about having children, there is no, you have to take tests to get any other kind of important thing in your life. But a kid, anyone can have a kid. And the whole thing about it is, to me, one of the primal things is teach your child better than you did. It's a very primal thing to me as a father.
Right.
Maybe I'm, I don't know. I see a lot of men that don't have the same intensity that I do. I grew up with women, and I'm still a man. I'm a heterosexual man, but I'm a lot more sensitive, I think, in a lot of ways than my wife is. I mean, if I wasn't doing this music thing, I could be home with my daughter all the time.
All right. Well, I don't mean not to push any of your CDs, but everyone go out there and give themselves a Crosby, Stills and Nash CD and listen to that for a while. It's straight. They had the whole family thing figured out back then.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Well, we need a quick fix here. We don't have time for therapy and mood altering drugs. Just go grab yourself some Crosby,
those
Stills
guys
and Nash.
never did mood altering drugs.
Well, they did, but they
That's why
talked
David
about
Crosby
the family
looks
unit.
like a walrus now.
Andrew, 24. You're on Loveline with Art from Everclear and Meshell from her own dig.
How's it going? Good evening.
Hi.
Hey, I'm getting out of the Navy here, and I've been in for 6 years. And I met a girl 6 years ago, right before I went in, and we had a great summer. And things were kind of getting serious, but not all the way serious, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm still a virgin and all that. And
really?
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, I bet you didn't take any ribbing in the Navy.
Oh, well, you got to keep those secrets guarded. Go with the flow.
All right.
So, with the Navy, you're all over the USA, and she couldn't handle the long distance relationship. So she broke it off after 3 years, after my third year in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
It was, kind of go home and, that's all, stay away from me. So I'm getting out this summer, and she wants me to move in with her. And she told me more things than she's ever told her. I know more things about her than her mother does. Let's put it that way. And I don't know if she wants. Her mother has threatened to move her out of her house that she's in right now, unless she can pay the whole rent. And I'm wondering if you think that she's preying on my what I think is love for her, but I don't really know since I've never, ever been with another woman except for her. And
right, she's all you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
you basically were swabbing the deck. I know, the Navy life is not an exciting life. It's not like the commercial where you're at a different port of call every half hour.
Right. It's not? Right.
No. Believe me, I know how this Navy guys go. Here, take this mop, go clean the battleship.
Yep.
All right. So, and you've relived your intimate summer many a time from your lonesome cot, haven't you, Andrew?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I understand
Everybody
that.
has.
And meanwhile, so you're clinging to this relationship because this is what you took with you when you set sail, so to speak.
Right. I did propose to her last Christmas, and she didn't say yes or no.
All right.
And I'm wondering if, if since I'm getting out soon, that she's coming back to me, or if she's, praying, like I said, praying on me because she needs half of the month's rent.
How old is she, Andrew?
She's 23.
Okay. So it never...
She's losing her job this summer, too.
Okay. Andrew.
She knows that now?
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds to me like she was never really wild about you.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds to me like it was sort of a fling for her, but that you're a real good guy, and you wrote, and you kept in contact with her, and you probably made her feel good when other people may not have been so good to her. And she probably wishes she likes you. I mean, this happens with women and men. There's people that you wish you liked. You wish you could marry or you wish you could live with and have a relationship with, but it's just not there. You know they're better for you than the last 10 guys or 10 women that screwed you over, but the spark isn't there.
Spark isn't there.
And unfortunately, that spark usually means like they're pretty whacked out or something.
They're not whacked out enough.
Right.
The other person is not whacked out enough for you. You know you should like a healthy person, but you can't.
Right. So, Andrew, there's a part of her, and one night you'll call and you'll talk to the healthy part that goes, "Oh yeah, Andrew, oh you're so good, and you're virtuous, and you're serving the country, and you got a nice pension thing set up, and medical and dental, and I want to shack up with you." And then she hangs up the phone with you, and Vince calls from prison.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. So, Andrew, you need to find a female version of you. I mean, not with the haircut,
No, right.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yes, of course.
Right. This isn't going to work out.
Yeah.
You would have known already. You had enough time for it to germinate. You understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, so move on.
I will.
Okay, good. All right.
Does the panel agree?
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that he's questioning it is sign enough.
And asking someone to marry you and not saying yes or no is saying no, isn't it?
Pretty much.
No,
It sounds like her life is kind of falling apart. I would question her motives a little bit, but
exactly. It sounds fishy.
he's not really telling us that much.
Right. She needs the money for the cleaning deposit in her next apartment. Alexandra.
Yes.
22.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey. So I'm calling because this is a question for Drew, actually. I wanted to know if there's been any any studies on the long-term psychological effects of children of transsexuals, because I guess my father had a sex change operation when I was about, 3.5 years old.
Wow.
And I've had, some problems relating to men, and I'm wondering if there could be a connection.
I mean, in a not terribly intuitive way, I think there's been a connection there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people doing studies. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I couldn't quote for you line and verse where those would appear. But usually there's a lot of certainly individual therapy that goes into dealing with somebody who's planning a sex change operation.
Right, but they never gave me any as a kid.
I understand that, and that was then. That was 20 years ago, and
right.
I would sure think that they would be studying people who come from those sorts
right,
of
or
family
just,
systems.
or just if you knew anything I could do, because it's like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 22 years old, I've never had a boyfriend or
right.
even
and,
any significant
and really,
male friend.
I understand, and it obviously there's something going on there.
Right.
And I don't think that you have to know necessarily what the probabilities are about the dynamics that somebody would develop coming from that kind of a family so much as need to go out there and get some treatment for what it is actually is going on with you.
All right, Drew's done now. Let me get to the good part. Okay, some important questions. First off, what was his name when he was a guy?
David.
David? And what did he change it to?
Deborah.
Okay. They seem to stick kind of close. I don't know why you have to do that.
Yeah, I know. It
Getting
seems
the-
like it'd be a good time to just, like, if you hated a name, just, throw something out
You're,
there.
Change everything.
You're trapped in a man's body. Let's go ahead and pick a totally different name. You've made the commitment to getting your penis lopped off. Go ahead and take a fun name.
Right.
It's a jump, but yeah, it's like the Roberta thing.
What is
I
your
know
mother
people who do
think?
that very
That's my question.
Yeah, what's up with the mom?
What's up with my mom?
Yeah.
Well, I must say she never remarried. I mean, after you go through something like
So
that.
you wonder if that's really where she picks up some of her ambivalence about men is from the mom.
Yeah.
I mean, the mom probably has a lot of anger and a lot of resentment.
Well, it's like also we've never. I mean, this is like I have a great relationship with my mom, but that's kind of like a taboo subject. Like every time I've ever expressed like that I had a problem with this, it's like, oh, you should be more understanding. It was like a health problem, the same as
Who would say that? Your mother or your father?
both.
Did she ever say anything about men under her breath or backhanded or?
No, I mean, it's not that. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I think the reason, looking back on it, like, looking at my parents as people, like, what brought them together, I think, was their own, like, social ineptitude.
Oh, yes.
To a certain degree.
Welcome to just about anybody's parents.
Or anybody's relationship.
That's attraction.
Relationship.
You know when you go, I don't know why, but I'm really attracted to this person. That's what the why is. He wants to have his penis cut off. Alexandra,
I'll remember that.
first off, if I'm not wrong, now you probably know more about this than I, but when one wants to undergo one of these operations, don't you have to have a certain amount of years of sort of psychological evaluation before they proceed?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, my dad had to. The rest of back at this time, I actually asked my mom about this. This was the thinking. This is like the 70s, let it be, da-da-da, and they were just like, well, you should be really understanding, because my mom actually asked, like, shouldn't, I get my daughter some therapy, and they were like, oh, no, don't want to stigmatize her, don't want her to let her think there's anything abnormal. And so, I mean, it was, it's
70s what made the 60s look good.
exactly talk
Really?
about.
Can you imagine open house with like the surly shop teacher? Yeah, this is my dad.
Not exactly
Mr.
something
Spence.
I mean, I was also quite stupid. As a child, I would tell people about it because no one ever told me, this is something you might want to just keep to yourself. And of course, those same people ended up like in high school with me.
It's the ultimate show and tell, though, isn't it? See this mason jar? You know what's floating in it?
Do you have any siblings?
No, I'm an only child. Because I mean, that's like
Sure, what's he going to do? Alexandra, I would assume that the fact that he had a child would be kind of a deal breaker. I mean, wouldn't you think isn't that a red flag when you're talking about getting a sex change that you have an infant?
Yeah,
essentially?
I think it was really selfish. Like if you have this problem,
I don't know
it's
enough
something
about
you
it
gotta know.
to
It
tell you.
occurs to me that you.
Well, you've
know
performed
it's a child.
dozens of sex change, haven't you,
I
Drew?
haven't performed any, but I've talked to a number of these people, and none of them had kids, the ones I spoke to.
Yeah, it seemed on my dad's part, I would say certain selfishness and denial to like. Get
Right,
married.
all right, all right.
How has his
he
life
was-
been since? How has his life been since?
Is he happy?
I can't tell. I mean, she doesn't have very many friends.
She
I mean, she lives in this kind of cruddy, like, one-bedroom apartment. I mean, she's like she's really into Zen Buddhism. She's a very weird person.
I got a suggestion.
Setting aside the gender problems.
Do you go to college?
I graduated.
Okay, I was like, go away. Go take a vacation.
Individuate.
And create your own
I
life.
went to college, like, I deliberately went to college, like, across the country from my family, in part to...
All right, but Alexandra, this is what we
Go to Jamaica.
This is a very bizarre example. Yeah.
Go.
Edmonton is nice this time.
Yes,
of
just go get your mind off of it, and I guess.
And she needs to,
Yeah.
let's face it,
Yeah.
the only way she's really
Go
gonna,
make some friends.
Right. The only way she's going to really work this through is with another person. I think she ought to get therapy. But
Well, I was going to say, are you in therapy now?
No, I gave her the...
With anybody?
I gave her
No,
the brush.
she's gone.
Several therapists. Unfortunately, I went to the therapist at the college health center, which I don't know, which is just like take 2 Prozac and call me in the
No,
morning.
but see, don't go to therapy talking about your father and your mother. Go and talk about yourself.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
Right. But you might want to bring up the whole sex change thing because that will factor in at some point. That comes in after like the 3rd year. The guy's going to jump across the sofa and smack you one. Oh, for Christ's sake! Wait a minute, I got to burn the notebook.
Oh yeah, by the way.
I asked those therapists about that once, and they were just like, well, is it an issue for you? And I was like,
Oh,
Well, but that's therapist supposed
But
to
you
be
got to shop
that
for
way.
therapists like you shop for melons.
That's therapist for holy Christ! I don't know what to say.
But I completely forgot what I was going to say now.
All right. Well, what I was trying to say is we've been been a little bit of a theme for the night, which is children having to sort of rise above their parents' poor judgment in life.
They're crazy.
Whether it be alcoholism, whether it be a sex change operation, whether it be the mate that they chose to call your mother or father, the divorces and all the crap that goes on. Unfortunately, the children of this world have to sort of rise up past that somehow with therapy, with support, with friends, with community.
That's the point, is that people got to realize that reading self-help books, that sort of thing, thinking by yourself, sitting on a mountaintop and cogitating over these things are not going to get you over them. It's about relating to other people and changing the way you conduct your relationships. And the only way, for instance, Alexandra has a chance of growing is if she is able to slowly tiptoe into some vulnerability in relationships with men, and hopefully she'll choose decent guys and will then grow.
All right. And she's probably going to be scared to death every time the guy gets his schwanz caught in the zipper of his fly. Wait a minute. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
His what?
Schwanz?
Oh, okay.
I think we can say that.
All right.
All right, we're going to change gears here because we got another song from Meshell to play off her CD, Peace Beyond Passion. And this one is called God Shiva. God Shiva from Peace Beyond Passion, which will be out June 25th. The last one got 4 Grammy nods, so be the first one on the block to get this one, and that way everyone will think you're cool when Grammy nominations come around again. Meshell Ndegeocello. Did I screw that up?
No, you got it right every time.
Every time.
It sounds like I'm just yelling Hungarian gibberish. I'm doing like a Hungarian limerick in my head. But if it sounds fine, good, because she's fine and her music's fine, and we thank her
Thank you
for coming
having
in.
me here.
And come back anytime.
Okay.
Absolutely. And Art is going to stick around from Everclear, and we're going to take on more callers, and we'll be back after this. Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Meshell has left the building. She was a great guest. Woman has a definite presence to her.
Whenever she's been on, we always get a lot of interesting calls, and she always contributes in interesting ways, great ways.
And she has a really great spirit. She really does. She just emanates a lot of positive vibe. Now you got me.
Yeah.
So
we got
it's all downhill.
All right, let's shotgun some calls, see if we can get through the rest of the show. That is Art from Everclear, who was really a good guy to come by because Art is...
Because you've been pestering me since Minneapolis.
Yeah, I saw Art in Minneapolis, and actually after... Art and I saw the entire set in Minneapolis at the Edge Fest. Is that what it was?
Something fest.
Yeah,
one of those stupid fests.
It was in Wisconsin in a big field, and there was like 30,000 people there, and I'd already been on stage about 4 or 5 times more than the crowd wanted, and Art was jamming away up there, and I don't know who it was, your manager or somebody, no, the promoter of a show you were going to do with Tracy Bonham and 7 Year Bitch and one other band out, and I guess in
Space Hog.
Space Hog, right. And he said, look, here's the information. When they're done with the set, run out there on stage, and meanwhile, I'd already been hit with a Birkenstock and a roll of nickels at this point, but run out there and just give this quick concert announcement.
What? Was it that kid that works for me with the hat?
I don't know.
Young kid?
Maybe it was just some screwball wanting to see me get killed
some
up there.
Nutty, yeah.
Yeah, the guy with the tattoos?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's got
that's my
tattoos.
buddy. No, that's my
No,
my
but it
boy.
wasn't him. It was the big guy who was promoting the concert, was promoting the show that was coming up.
With long hair?
Right.
Yeah.
So he said, get out there and do it. So I got out there and did it, and
Did you get beat up?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those little 14-year-old girls are rough in the clinches.
And
man.
they got good aim too.
They do.
So I saw Everclear in Minneapolis, and then the following week I saw Everclear in Washington D.C. in front of like 55,000 people at RFK Stadium. Is that the biggest crowd you've played to so far?
Just another show. Yeah, by far. That was insane. I just you get in this huge place and you're just like looking at all these teeming people, and it's just pretty weird.
And the football field, there wasn't a seat on the field or the track around it or anything, so it was like one huge
teeming. It's
mosh
just like
pit.
doing this the whole time. It's like,
yeah,
I was afraid I was going to have flashbacks or something. It was just spooky. I'm just like, yeah. It was really weird too, because you just were sitting targets up there. They were throwing stuff the whole time, and you just had to basically take it and duck it and be good-natured about it. And after we played, Jewel, singer-songwriter girl, pretty girl, goes up there, sits down with her acoustic guitar and starts getting sensitive. Gets second song, gets popped right in the head with a frisbee, starts crying and walks off stage.
Right.
Just quit.
Right.
Just got mad and walked off stage. And man, if you're going to play the festivals, you can't do that. You got to take it. You got to like throw it back at them, or like, you know.
Well, what you need like how the salad bar has the sneeze guard, that plexiglass there. You bands need some sort of tremendous sneeze guard in front
sissies.
of you.
What happens
all
with
right.
somebody like...
All right, you're going to get nailed. All right, you're getting cleaned out.
Man, I get nailed every show. Don't tell me about it. I get hit in the head with shoes.
What happens when somebody like Goldfinger gets up there and starts yelling all those expletives and screaming at the crowd? How come a riot doesn't develop?
It very often does.
Because of security, that's why.
Well, people don't know who they are yet. So they're you know, you've seen these shows. People are like, should I like this? Well, I don't know. You know, that's what radio shows are. It's like 500 bands in 10 minutes. Go! You know, and it's like, people don't know what to think about it until they hear the hit song. And it's like, live beside the ocean.
All right, I'm just saying, just be careful. Don't put a curse on yourself, because when I was out there in Minneapolis,
I laugh in the face of danger.
All right, now you're going to get hit with an anvil. It's going to get a safe. Is going to get. They're going to throw a 3-ton safe up on stage and crush Art from Everclear. All right, and then. As if I wasn't burnt out on Everclear enough, I see them again at the Weenie Roast here in Los Angeles for K-Rock.
Yeah, but you're neglecting that. You're following me around at each show.
I'm actually stalking Everclear.
You're stalking me. You're not doing it to the rest of the band. You're not doing it to my manager. Who is that? All 3 shows, by the way. You're stalking me, bugging me about being on the show.
But I'm doing my job because I know our audience, and I know what they like, and they like Everclear, and I want to get Everclear on the show. So, of course, when I see you, I got to bug you.
Well, you know, and then last night, I hadn't even commit to the show, and last night, you're like, Everclear's going to be, Art from Everclear's going to be here. And I'm like, oh, yeah? My wife's going, I'm going, yeah, we'll see. And then I listened to the show, and I hadn't heard you on the show yet, because we don't.
Oh, that's why you're flashing all the toot at all the other shows.
It is in Portland now.
It is in Portland?
Yeah.
Recently.
Okay. Yeah.
Give him a break.
Really recently.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing
KNRK.
is, I've been on... It is on Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Because I've been on tour. I'm never home.
Right.
I've been home 3 days in the last month.
Come on, get to the compliment part.
So anyway, it was great. I enjoyed it. I told Dr. Dean I wasn't coming back. You know, people had asked us to come back before.
Are you talking about Dr. Drew?
Yeah.
I think he said Dr. Dean.
I did say Dr. Dean because I'm thinking of a different doctor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he can be replaced. You want Dean in here? I'll get it. Is he making you uncomfortable? Say the word.
Well, actually, a little bit.
All right, so...
Well, go on.
No, so you heard the show.
I liked it.
You liked it.
You're good.
And now here you are.
You're no Ricky Rockman, but you're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, a zinger from Art from Everclear. All right.
You're burning all your time with me, baby. There you go.
Oh, no, this is gold coming from your mouth. The God's ears, baby. Rianne.
Hi.
Hey, you're 20. You're on Loveline.
It's Ryan.
All righty.
Art, I just want to let you know I read the article in details.
Which one? The last one about my brother?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to let you know that it was really touching.
Well, thanks. It's really sad. You know,
it was sad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sad.
My wife was reading it this weekend and pointed it out to me too, and she was. It's a touching story.
You wrote it? You read it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so here's my problem. My old boyfriend lived in Florida, okay, and I lived in Illinois. And when I was down there, I met one of his fraternity brothers who turned out to be this guy that I went to high school with. So when I broke up with my boyfriend, the guy that I went to high school with calls me. And so we're talking or whatever. And so he decides that he likes me or whatever, so he wants me to come to a wedding with him, and the wedding's on Saturday. So he sends me $300 for a plane ticket. So I spend the money, and now I don't want to go.
Now,
it's
buy costume jewelry and pornography? What'd you buy with the $300?
I bought some clothes and.
For Christ's sake! Believe me, those.
Ryan, what are you doing?
I know, and I feel really bad. He's a really nice guy, but he's such a puss. I don't know if I can say that or not, but.
Well, you already did.
No, you sort of acted out your feelings about the guy. I mean, don't go out there if you feel that way about him.
I'm not going to go, but what do I tell him? I haven't told him I'm not coming.
Well, of course she's not going. Was she supposed to give the guy like some culottes for a boarding pass? She squandered all the money on clothing.
I hate to say it, but if he's fool enough to send the money,
I know.
Caveat emptor. It's ridiculous.
All right, no Latin. You know the rules.
Buyer
Drew.
beware.
Okay.
Buyer beware. Well, I mean, he obviously senses some trust there, a sense of desperateness there on his part. I mean,
yeah,
Ryan,
he's
let me
a really
ask you.
nice guy, but
Let me ask you a question, really flat out, deep down inside. Do you think this guy give you more money if you called and lied and said you lost it or something, someone stole it or something? Would he give you more money to come?
yeah,
So you could scam this guy for more money if you wanted to, right?
yeah, but I don't want to. I feel bad about doing it in the first place. But, I deposited the check, and I was actually, I was thinking, I'm not going to do it, But then the money was just, sitting there in my checking account, and I'm a college student, so I'm poor,
All right.
So I've got the money. So.
You ethics major, are you, Ryan? Listen, Ryan, here's the deal.
Okay.
You owe this guy
You owe
two
the money,
things.
right.
You owe him
$300
you owe him the $300, and you owe him a note, an apology note.
Right.
A truthful apology note.
And you should pay him the money back.
I'm not coming. I'll get you the money when I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, $20 every now and then, whatever.
Because
you should do it.
It's not. Life is not about what you can get away with. This is going to ultimately do more harm to you than it is to him. You're going to live with the fact that this guy sent you this trusting, desperate, horny soul. I'm throwing horny on there because any guy who sends $300 to a stranger to fly him out is horny.
Well, I've flown my nephew. Does that count?
Well, you know your nephew.
Not really.
Did you get anything off him?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Stiffed.
Well,
Ryan, listen, please.
okay, I'm listening.
You got to get him the $300 back.
Do you agree with that, Ryan?
Yeah, I
Do you feel like
but-
you'll do it eventually?
But, I'm a waitress, and I'm a poor, starving college.
Stop making excuses for yourself. Listen, Ryan, here's what I'm saying, and here's what I want people to understand. Not for him, for you. It really is. I mean, you're going to miss the $300 immediately, but over the course of your lifetime, it's going to be the best $300 you ever spent, and it wasn't yours in the first place. Don't look at it as taking care of him, paying him back. It is for you. Ultimately, it will be for you. Because you're not going to forget this.
No, I feel horrible. I mean, it's...
All right, if you feel so horrible, then do something about it.
So should I just call him?
Call him and tell him he's going to get $100 this week and $100 next month and $100 the month after that.
But how do I tell him I'm not coming?
And a blowjob if he ever comes in town.
No.
Well, that was my idea, but all right.
She's not with it. Listen, just tell him you're not coming and say, look, I got to be honest with you. I initially wanted to do it. Tell him the truth. Just don't lie. You haven't lied to yourself, which is good, I hope.
A start.
And it's a start. Don't lie to him either. There's no sense in it. You're 20 years old. It's like right now, this doesn't seem that important to you, but it's like Adam says, you're creating, to me, psychic damage on yourself that as you get older, you feel a lot more strongly about things like this because you start thinking about how things like this could happen to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Art Alexakakis.
Man, you nailed that.
Alexicus.
Oh, come on, man.
Alexicus. But make sure you don't say it twice, whatever you do. All right. Well, it's getting late. We're getting punchy. Art's got his Cheez-Its.
I've got Cheez-Its and bad attitude.
And let me tell you, there's no hopper full of Cheez-Its back there. That came out of mine and producer Ann's pocket and right into the vending machine.
Well,
and that's the kind of treatment you get here on Loveline when you agree to come on and do the show on short notice.
I feel pampered.
Free Cheez-Its, huh?
I feel pampered.
Well, we really are, and in all sincerity, very grateful that you came out, because I'll tell you, after talking to you on Saturday night, I was like, not a snowball's chance in hell he's coming out here, because it was one of those.
That's why you guilted me into it
Right,
yesterday.
right.
Yeah, he's gonna be here.
Right, well, I'll see if it works. See if it works on other people. Tomorrow night, we have Marlon Brando, Magic Johnson, and Abe Lincoln will be in studio. All right, we'll just
Abe was busy.
See if it works. Yeah, he's rolling over. All right, now we're going to play a song off your CD, but we're not going to do it just yet. We got a few more minutes, so until then, we'll get to Angelina.
Hello?
Yes, you're 19. You're on the Loveline with Art from Everclear.
Right. I was just wondering, basically, I have an ex-boyfriend that I'm still really good friends with. He's 21 years old, and his girlfriend now, she's 34. And I was just kind of wondering, like, as far as, like, the psychological effects and stuff, if this is a healthy relationship.
He is 21?
He's 21,
and she is 34.
Like a call you had last night.
Yes, indeed it is.
I was listening.
And basically it was a 22-year-old with a 34-year-old last night.
Pretty close.
And what we said was that if people are really adult, that for the most part adults are basically the same age. That there's certainly phases of one's life that can affect a relationship. If you really have different priorities and different values, the relationship could have trouble working. But in terms of there being sort of negative impact or adverse impact on one of the members of the relationship, when both are adults, it's not likely to be a traumatizing experience.
Is he a mature guy?
Well, kind of. I mean...
All right,
Well, he's 2 years older than you, and you guys went. How long did you guys go out?
For like a year and a half.
When did you break up?
Well, it was on and off. We broke up last October.
Who broke up?
I'm sorry?
Who broke up?
Kind of mutual.
Mm-hmm. You got dumped. I feel for you, baby.
No, I didn't. It was, there were other things.
Shh, don't talk.
Other
Don't talk,
problems,
baby.
so
I know.
It was mutual.
All right, so do you have any feelings for this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Not sexual.
Well, but how about attraction in more than just a platonic way? Okay, that was long enough pause that we'll take that as a yes.
Silence says a lot, doesn't it, Angelina? Listen, are you still in love with this guy?
No, I just care about him a lot.
Okay.
Does he seem happy with this newfound older love?
I don't know. He won't tell me that much about it. He won't really, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, because it's kind of weird, him giving you all the gory details of his new relationship.
I want to hear it.
Right. You have feelings for the guy. Would you admit that, please?
Yeah, sure.
No, don't be smug. You still think about this guy, and this call is more than just a sort of concern for a buddy. There's still some feelings left behind in the relationship of your so-called mutual breakup.
Right, yeah.
So you guys broke up in October, right?
Yeah, last October.
And you haven't been with him since?
Once.
Good question. There you go.
Man, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. It's just the way human beings are. You go out with someone for a while, then you're seeing someone else, but then you go back and you sleep with your ex-girlfriend because it's okay because I was with them first,
Right.
So it's like this.
Get the baseball glove.
Huh? Basically, yeah.
Right.
It's stupid how we do this, how we rationalize things, but we're basically letting our primal selves decide these things for ourselves, and we know if we've once had good sex with someone, we'll probably have good sex with them again.
Well, it wasn't good sex.
Well, it was comfortable sex, right? It was easy.
All right.
Correct?
Right.
All right.
Or maybe just intimacy.
Oh, art is intuitive in a scary way.
Well, I'm getting to a question here. Have you ever gone out with anyone older than you?
Well, when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Well, how much older?
Like 3 years.
Okay, so you've never been to a situation like this.
But that 3 years can be quite the 3 years can be quite substantial when you're in high school, and so I imagine that wasn't a great experience for you.
Well, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, I don't know.
Did you learn a lot from it?
No.
All right, Angelina.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up here, and my final thought is you have feelings for the guy.
No, I just want to know if this is like an okay relationship.
It's okay.
It should be
It's okay.
It depends on the people, right?
Yeah, it should be okay.
You have stronger feelings than just general concern. Believe me. I can hear it in your voice and by the nature of your question. Okay? She's with, he's in another relationship. Now,
she wants to go in and rescue him. She must have been the way the relationship went out. That she was.
I don't. I mean, that's great. You know, if things are, I just think it's kind of sick of her. That's all.
No. Why? Because it's her old boyfriend who she still has feelings for.
They're just like, close to his age.
Is she pretty?
She has kids that are close to his age.
They're like old. They're like,
They're like 11.
Like 14. Like her son is like 14.
Angelina, I'm really not trying to pick on you, but you sound a little threatened by this.
No, that's fine.
Am I wrong here, guys?
No, absolutely not. Angelina, I have the answer that's going to cure everything. Start dating the 14-year-old.
Jeez.
I don't care if it's a male or a female.
Take this.
Now, listen, people don't just call because people are less concerned with the plight of their exes than they would lead you to believe. Everyone calls, I'm really concerned about my ex because he's going out with someone. Let me tell you, when you really broke up with someone and it was your idea and you're finished, you've washed your hands with the relationship, he could be going out with a lesbian trucker nun with 700 kids, and she would give a rat's ass. She would be laughing at him. Like all my exes laugh at me. They put a curse on me. I realize that. So far it's worked. There was feelings she had for the guy, and Angela.
The word "sick" when she said, "Well, I think it's just sick of her."
Right.
When she said that, there was no pretense.
Right.
There.
Angelina needs to move on, find her own relationship. All right, one more quickie before we get to the lovely Everclear song. Wendy, 18.
Hi. About a month and a half ago, I found out I was pregnant, and I'm 18 and my boyfriend's 15, and he, at first, I guess because I guess it's the motherly instinct, I guess I was kind of excited, but not really, you know, because I knew it wasn't good timing because I just graduated, and I'm going to go to college and everything, and he's a freshman now, and he's just, you know, finishing up school for that, and I don't know, I guess he was kind of like, well, why don't you have abortion, but I guess I've always been, like, pro-life and stuff, you know, and against that, but I'm kind of considering it now, and I kind of told him that I was thinking about it, and that, you know, that I guess that I would, but I'm, like, really scared, and I've been, like, crying a lot and stuff, and I don't know.
How far along are you?
8 weeks?
About a month and a half, I think. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, how tough for you. I mean, you're going to have to make a decision. Either way, it's something you're going to have to live with. We can't make the decision for you. I don't think we can make it any easier for you.
Well, I was kind of wondering, like, what are, like, the what's going to happen with the side effects, you know?
I think a single abortion is a relatively safe procedure these days. I mean, there are, yes, of course, risks of bleeding, infection, and infertility that come with abortion. They tend to really start to climb at subsequent abortions. It's very unusual to have that kind of complication after a single abortion, but it's you know, it's a heavy thing, particularly for women. Our society doesn't identify strongly enough how much it affects women emotionally, and especially if you really have held a value in not having abortion. I mean, you're shaking your head.
No, I was just laughing at Art. No. Listen. I mean, it's a lesser of two evils. If is really. I mean, abortion's a horrible thing, and why people, the so-called pro-lifers, have to make us pro-deathers. Why they have to treat us as if we looked at abortion as a trip to Chuck E. Cheese or something. It's just ridiculous and insulting. It's a horrible procedure. There's no doubt about it. It's a lesser of two evils. Do you want to go through a horrible, difficult experience and all the emotional implications involved with that, or do you want to be saddled with a person, a responsibility,
adoption, Anna.
But you know, the thing
okay,
is,
or that.
Wait, can I say something? His mother is, like, a really bad alcoholic, and he has a lot of problems with her right now. And my parents are like, I mean, just telling them would just be like, I mean, that would.
It would make a lot. It would be very difficult. It would be very difficult.
And he's just trying to. He just now got his mom into counseling, and he's just like getting over a really long, thing, and it's just like another thing, and he can't. He kind of thinks it's going to affect his mom, and drinking again and stuff.
All right, Wendy, we cannot hash this out. I mean, you have a horrible plight, and I don't want to be unsympathetic, but Drew, can you give her a Planned Parenthood number or something that she can talk to counselors?
Let me give you a national Planned Parenthood number. It's 1-800-230-PLAN. 1-800-230-PLAN. And they will discuss more than just abortion there. They discuss all the options, including adoption.
All right. And when we come back, we will talk a little more to Art from Everclear. And what, producer Ann, talking to the mic?
We're going to play the song, too.
When we come back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if we had enough time. All right. There you go. You ruined half the song. We're only going to hear the end part. All right, Art, you cool?
Yeah, whatever.
All right. We'll be back. All right, real fast. Tomorrow night, the Cardigans will be in studio. Also, Australian Manpower. We'll size them up, see how they stack up against yours truly and Dr. Drew. And what we're going to do here is we're going to say goodbye to Art from Everclear and thank him profusely for coming in. And then we're going to go out with an Everclear song. So let me give my thank yous very quickly. Art, thank you.
Adam, thank you.
Drew, get the hell out of here. Lisa, thank you. Ann, thank you. Mike, thank you. And this is You Make Me Feel Like a Whore from Everclear.
You've been listening to Loveline.
The opinions expressed on Loveline, especially by Adam Carolla, are not necessarily those of the staff, management, or sponsors.
Or even the character voices. Loveline, produced by Ann Wilkins for Westwood One Entertainment.